Speaking of weather, let's get outdoors. Stephen Halliday. What's up, fella? How are you? Where are you right now?
I'm in Minnesota.
Minnesota?
State of hockey.
Yeah.
What are you doing there? Scouting?
Playing just a fun tournament with a couple of my buddies for the weekend.
Like you're playing beer league?
No, I don't think it's beer league. There's a couple like NHLers on a couple of different
Okay,
teams,
so it's
should be
you're not
decent
going out
competition.
there and playing pros versus Joes and making everybody look bad.
Hopefully not. Hopefully still doing that. I'm just kidding, but
who are some of the names? So, like, who are we talking about here?
I don't really have the official rosters, but there's the Pitlick's putting a team together.
Nice.
That they say they had Tommy Novak from the Penguins.
Okay.
Who else? 1 second. Let's look here.
Where's off-season home for
Kaiser.
you these days?
I'm in Toronto, right? I've been training in Toronto this summer, and then in August or July I'm going to Ohio State just to do a class. And then
Did you go there?
Oh yeah, good one.
I'm still mad you didn't go to North Dakota when it was all said and done. Hey, you got a
now
response?
it's the Wisco Sens.
I know.
Wisconsin.
Seriously, we'll get to that. But first, do you have a response to Angus Crookshank just laying into you on the Ohio State gear?
Hey, this is for Angus. I'm wearing flip-flops for Ohio State right now.
Of course.
No, yeah. Angus probably would bring me aside all the time. Like, Steven, come on, man. We gotta get the wardrobe updated. But I'm like, they let my lucky shoes, bro.
Hey,
oh my God.
Belsey would give it to me too. Belsey didn't like him either.
That's so funny, dude. Ottawa just traded up, 93rd overall. Blake Vanek. We'll figure out who he is in a second. You ever heard that name? Do you know any of these guys, or are the age gaps now a little large?
I knew the Hensler. I knew he was pretty good, just because of like NCDP. And he was going into Wisconsin, but
hey, Thomas Vanek's kid is who we just picked.
Oh, there
Minnesota.
we go, and a Minnesota guy, yeah. Where you're talking to us from. What's the rivalry like, Stephen, between Ohio and Wisconsin?
It's pretty. I wouldn't say it's like a top rivalry, but like I would say Wisconsin and Minnesota, they play in like a border battle like games all the time. So I'd say like Wisconsin's biggest rival is probably Mini, but we always had good battles with them because they were ranked pretty high. So we'd always like get up for those games and try to because if you win some of the big games on the road versus the high ranked teams, you can jump pretty big in the standings.
Do you follow along with the draft?
I was following a little bit this year. I was looking for there's a couple Maryland guys that got drafted. Trethway got drafted to Pittsburgh, and then Serrato was from Maryland. He got drafted to Carolina. But yeah, I was following when Steve made some good plays and got some good guys. So,
yeah, no doubt. We like the move to drop back just 2 picks there, and with that said, like when you're watching the draft now, like do you know any of the guys before? Like, do you look in and be like, oh, it'd be cool to have this or that going forward? Obviously, in Belleville, it looks like there might be a ton of changes down there just based on guys whose contracts are up right now. Or are you just sitting back on the couch and being like, all right, let's see what happens?
Yeah, it's always it's weird because like they're so young. So like even if we got like a really high skilled player, like I wouldn't play with them for maybe a year or so. So but it's definitely cool to see just like how the draft kind of works, like not being like entangled with it, because like Steve like makes 2 picks or trades like a pick and then he gets another pick and then trades those guys for like a sick right shot D. So it's kind of cool just to see how that side of the game works. But yeah.
Are you a guy that maybe one day would want to be in a role like that?
Yeah, I think like what Gags does is super sick. Like he like gets to work with all the players, and like that's something that I would take really. I think that would be something that I'd want to do maybe after I'm done playing.
Hell yeah! What was your draft experience like? You were a +1 or +2 when you got picked?
I was +2, so I like sat through a couple drafts. But it was cool. Like I wasn't really watching, and the best part was like my dad told me like where I was going and all that stuff, and like the coolest part was like seeing how happy he was, and seeing how happy my family was, just because like the last 2 years, like obviously you didn't get picked, and uh, it was tough. Like everyone wants to get picked and stuff, so it was definitely cool like to see like my parents' emotions, just because they would tell me after I didn't get picked, like just keep working, keep like they'd be the ones like like obviously you'd be upset, so it's definitely cool to share the moment with them.
Yeah, and you mentioned Sam Gagner there. When he was playing in Belleville, did you get the vibe from him that this was maybe like his last year and he was making one final push, or what was it like having him in the room?
Yeah, it was right from day one. Like he was definitely like a presence in the room. Like whenever he spoke up, everyone listened right away. I think with Gags, like I didn't really know what to expect. I just knew we it was kind of in a weird spot where we didn't have like we had a couple injuries and a couple call-ups, so
Yep,
we really needed like a boost of skill, and he came in and gave it to us, and I was super pumped to like you. I played on the line with him for a couple weekends too, and I remember like he would just give me tips and stuff on the bench, and even like when he was running skill skates with me like in the summer, like we'd recall plays that like he'd be like, remember when you were doing this in this game, and like he was on the ice with me, so it's kind of
that's
cool
sick.
like to like recall those moments. But no, yeah, I didn't get the feeling that it was like even in practices in the summer right now, like he's like looking better than me out there, and I'm like, yeah, it's like it's got. So I didn't know that, but I knew he was trying to get a contract with Ottawa,
Yep.
but I didn't. I had no idea that it was gonna be like his last ride.
Well, you have been brought up in multiple interviews by Sam Gagner now that he's in this role. What's the conversations been like between you two now that he's kind of in charge of development down there in Belleville?
Yeah, it's cool. Like I feel like it's kind of cool that we built like a relationship beforehand, because like I obviously trust him a lot, and I really value his opinion, so he's just teaching me like stuff that even he saw while he was playing, like getting to the middle of the ice, like being comfortable in uncomfortable spots. And I think like I worked with him all of June so far, and just seeing like the time and energy he puts into me is it's really like rewarding for me, and I'm really excited to get to work with him.
What's the day to day in Toronto for you right now? If you're working with him, what are you up to?
Yeah, like I'm going to Matt Nickel, and he goes out of like
Yep.
like Scotiabank Pond area. So I've been working out with him all of June, and then Sam's been running some skill skates for me, and then Shelly just came up to Toronto to work with me for a couple days. So I've been getting a good blend of like different types of training, and Maddie's been unbelievable with me. Like I'm going to Ohio State for July, but then I'm going back to work out with Maddie and skate at his gym too. Like because all those guys are bar none some of the best players in the NHL. So if I want to get there, sometimes you gotta move away from home even in the summer and train at different places. So I'm really excited. And, I know summer's kind of just in getting into it, but I'm already feel like I've made big improvements.
Well, was it last year or 2 years ago? Didn't you spend a bunch of time in Ottawa during the summer?
Yeah, no, I did. Like, I think Matt's place is like similar to that, and then obviously like Shelly's like unbelievable human, driving to come and see me a couple of times. So I'm really grateful for them.
You
Yeah,
got
she
to
seems
put in a good
awesome.
word. You got to put in a good word with Shelly. Every time we message, she's like, "Yeah, I'd love to come on, but I'm so busy." So we got to
She's
get her
the
on.
she's yeah she's
All of energy, though, eh?
Oh, you got to get her on. She'd have some
I know.
unbelievable stories. Hopefully none of me, but um,
I want to ask
she'd
about
have some
Mark
great
Stone.
stories. Oh yeah, yeah. She's worked with. That's kind of the cool thing too, is like she's worked with everyone, and then they were in the same spot as me. Like she's worked with everyone in Belleville. She would like bring up like different guys in Belleville when she would skate me in Belleville. And like one of the biggest things for Shelly this year with me, like I had a rough start to the year, like in terms of like production and like kind of like feeling out. Like I thought I would start off the year pretty well just because of last playoffs. I thought I kind of got the grasp of like what I needed to do every day, and like every rookie, like I went through some lulls, and like I really needed Shelly to come and like kind of give me some confidence with my skating again, and She came and worked with me for a week in Bellzy, got me ice before practice, and I worked with her a lot, and I kind of like started taking off like after those 15 or so games. So I was really owe a lot to Shelly and Bellzy who get me on the ice. And
Yeah, it's a good crew down there for sure. Stephen, I want to ask you about, I forget when it was, middle of the season sometime. You didn't get officially called up to Ottawa. Like, it didn't seem like it was an official transaction, but you ended up going to Ottawa to skate, and you even practiced with the team, I think. What was the deal there? Like, tell us about that experience.
yeah, like that was, I think we're over like 4 Nations, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tell me you did
Oh
it.
Yeah, I forget.
No, yeah, it was during 4 Nations, and like I guess Brady wasn't back yet, so they were like, they just kind of called me up, and I was super pumped. Like I walked in the room and I was on like playing with Timmy and G for practice.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, sign me up. So it was definitely cool, like just to get like they got me like a little bit of a practice like experience. I got to see kind of the pace, kind of got to show me like, okay, like I think I can do this, so then I could work on this when I go back down and type stuff. So I was really grateful they called me up there, and then they called me up again later in the season too, just to kind of do the same thing. And I kind of got to see, okay, I worked on this after the last practice. I think I need to do this to make it even closer of a step, and then the next practice kind of reevaluate, and then so I kind of got some good like benchmark type practices.
Well, clearly those practices left a mark on Timmy. How sick was that clip from our show where we asked him what young player stood out, and he picked a guy he hasn't played a single regular season game with. He named you, man. How cool is that?
Yeah, no, that was really cool. Like he's a great dude. Obviously, like can't say enough good things about him, and for him to have praise for me like that is it means a lot to me. So I was really happy and grateful that he said that.
Man, that's so sick. I don't know if you saw, but he buzzed our hair off. He gave us his barber after March. We saw him at the gala, and he's like, "Hey, if we win that game, man," I said I'd make a donation, Sens Foundation. Obviously, happy to do that. Great cause. And I just texted him a receipt of the donation, $118, the 18 for his number, and he writes back. He goes, "Are you guys free tomorrow morning?" Like, yeah, we're flying out in the afternoon. He goes, "My barber's coming over." It's like, all right, sick. Got the buzzes going, and I'm not saying it's why the Sens made playoffs, but I'm not saying it's not why either. So
Big turnaround.
Good luck, Charm. You guys might have to do it next year.
Yeah, well, hey, you might have to do it. Be on the NHL roster on opening night, man.
I said I would do full bikini wax if the Sens get to the Cup final. If that's what it takes for them to get the Cup.
But nobody's going to want to see you prove it.
No, definitely not. But my hair is available for the Ottawa Senators to have success.
For auction.
That's great.
Yeah. Are you seeing Igor at all at
Yeah.
Gym?
Yeah.
He was there. How's he doing, man?
Yeah, he's doing great. I saw his Belleville Sens autographed jersey on Facebook Marketplace the other day.
For how much?
It was like $250, and I was like, "Oh, they're lowballing you, Igor. Like, you gotta get this at least 500." And he was getting a kick out of it, but he's doing great. I think he's going over to Russia next year.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man. Well, he's a dad now. He's got to get things together.
Oh yeah,
that's sick, man. Fuck. What an absolute beauty he is. Adam Benak, the last player we covered in our top 50, goes 102 overall. Sens took a goalie with the other pick, guy from the Q.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was his name?
Lucas Beckman.
Oh.
So there you go. With that, I mean, I think you take a goalie every year. General manager Stephen Halliday, you take a goalie every year?
I don't know, man. You're asking me the tough ones. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I actually don't know. Maybe. Sure.
Well, we're not asking you to be smart, man. Like, this show is based on us being complete idiots, man. Mm-hmm. And you know better than anybody. I wanted to pull this up and have a laugh at my own expense. Do you remember our first interaction, Stephen?
Like in person?
No. What was that? The Red Blacks game?
Yeah. I
had a couple mimosas.
Oh, yeah. Wait, I mean, first interview? Was it
No, not even interview, just interaction.
Oh, was it Red Blacks?
No.
It
Right
wasn't?
after the draft,
Okay.
we at that point, would we still make this mistake, Pilsy? Probably.
Yes.
So, your name is spelled Stephen.
Yep.
In our draft recap that year, I might have called you Stephen Halliday.
Oh no.
And I get a DM. Very polite. Haha, like the show. By the way, it's Steven, but spelled Stephen. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the love.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Hey, we appreciate the correction. Although we're dumb on this show, if we have an opportunity to not be dumb, we will do our best. So that was a polite way to do that. So we respect that.
How about my reply? Oh, geez. Sorry, man.
That's all time.
Oh, dear.
That's all time.
Oh, geez.
Man, final question for me is, at those practices that you're at in the NHL, you obviously know who the top dogs are, but what stood out most to you? Whether it was a player that impressed you, anything else that you took away from those two practices?
Like it just like go like how dialed to like and how much those guys want to get better. Like every practice, like, or I mean both practices out there. Timmy's out there early, Brady's out there early, Drake's out there early. You know, like all those guys were out there early, like just, you know, trying to get better. And I think like that just like kind of made me like, those guys have already like been there, they've done so much, and they're still trying to get better every single day. Like it kind of just showed me that. And then I think like the pace of it's a little bit better. And then I think like being in the right spots, like in the American League, sometimes you can get away with not being in the right spots, or like, you know, you can rely on a little bit of other stuff. But I think if you're not in the right spots in the NHL, it really shows. So I think just kind of playing with a bit more pace will eventually help me make the jump. And then I think just like using my hockey IQ and being in the right spots, I think too.
You set goals for yourself in the summer?
Goals in the summer, like I want to get a lot stronger. I've been working with Maddie on my core strength and not getting knocked off pucks. Like you see the playoffs, like all the guys like Sam Gagner. Like I watched all the playoff games at the CTC, like versus the Leafs, like seeing how hard those games are physically, like just being able to, you know, like physically be able to, you know, push people around and stuff. I think that's like kind of the next step towards my game. I think the skills like it will be there, but I think that's the next like level my game will have.
Well, it was probably even easier for you, not that it would have been otherwise, but we remember the first time having you on, you said, growing up, I cheered for whoever was playing the Leafs. So first round, Battle of Ontario, what'd you take away from being up in the press box there? I thought you were a black ace there. And what is the life of a black ace look like in the playoffs?
Yeah, so the first one was just like, it was like that atmosphere at the CTC was crazy. Like I've been to playoff games where it's like in the Caps, like when the Washington, and I've been to Florida, like when they were in the Cup final versus Vegas, and like CTC's like way better. Like they're like they get the white towels going, like everyone's screaming, like every fan in the building's like a passionate fan. Like that was like kind of the coolest thing. And then obviously like just like how little like the games are played on the walls a lot, like being able to pick up pucks and stuff. And then I think I also like just like how hard every inch is on the ice to get. Like both teams are going balls out every game, so that was kind of cool just to be in the building for like those moments and stuff. And like when Sandy scored the overtime winner, like I couldn't even like hear myself talk.
Yep, I was at those games, so I'm with you, Stephen. Those were sick. Final question for me. We know you've got a good relationship with Bryce Montgomery, Blake Montgomery's brother, but what can you tell us about Blake and how the season he had with the London Knights, and now he's going to the Wisconsin Badgers?
Yeah, no, he did really, he transferred from the USHL to the OHL, which I thought was like a great move. Like I would have done that for sure if like you could do that back in my day. But yeah, he's really fast. Like that's one thing like he has is he's a big dude, but he's the speed. And then once he like fills out at Wisconsin, like he's gonna be a beast. I think he's gonna be a beast. So definitely a guy to. I mean, you guys will be tuned into every Wisconsin game with Hensler, Montgomery, and
Tyson Dick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be sick, man. Are you going to dev camp this year? You aged out of that.
I am not going to dev camp this year, so
Every day is dev camp for you, eh?
Yeah,
I mean, you're working with the guys you'd work with there.
They didn't want Grandpa at the dev camp.
Oh man, well, hey, we wanted Grandpa on this show. You're an absolute beauty, and we always appreciate you. I'll leave you with this, and we might have you on before then, but give us your U.S. Open tennis winner this year. I know you're dialed.
There we go.
Oh, that's a good one. Like Alcaraz, I want to go center here because like it's Alcaraz or center, one of the two.
Isn't Alcaraz like 10-0 against center?
Yeah, but like center's unreal on like that hard, fast, the courts. So like I don't know, like if I'm going like safe pick, I'm going center.
Okay.
But like underrated, maybe like Fritz. He's pretty good. Like he's
I knew you were gonna throw in a young American guy. You always do.
Maybe we'll throw the Fritz in there. But no, thanks for having me on, guys, and thanks for having me on.
You got your bag every day. You're just
ready
dialed in. Love that. You
rocking the Angus. They show this to Angus. Oh yeah,
of course.
Show it to Angus.
Love it, buddy. Appreciate you, man. We'll touch base later this summer.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Okay, there you go. Stephen Halliday. What an absolute beauty. I love that guy so much. Can't wait to see him being a full-time NHLer. He is such a beauty.
Could happen soon.